the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Ampofo ayadom abane de yato awie. Now declarations have been made. The Electoral Commission already I declare for the presidential nipa onya emano edodo na as the constitution says onya the 50+1 ya overwhelmingly owini aba yakoto ye on the 7th of December the former president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Transition teams have been put in place. Ya to say enkitahudie ekoso between the newly elected president and the outgoing president and his administration. Ya to say appointment have been made with respect to transition teams. Ya omobehwe na omo ayen hyehyeye no matoto nyoma. But problems are still emanating from the parliamentary election results. The EC ejina to me any emra ebo omo enhyehyeye ho ban said there be enioma akoso nti there are certain constituencies there was a recount koso enu nti no mobeka ya last week and a recount shase ewo the Tesano police training school ya na the preferred destination for the recounter accepted by both the NPP and the NDC and the security and every other organization that matters with respect to elections in this country. In the Eastern region, almost started with 4 constituencies in Saoma Duajiri, Suhum, Fantia Kwanof, and Akwetia. Now, interestingly, Yedikan Akwetia na a Huri NDC dia two baby, na sitina bedi the new patriotic party in sem. Yakwa Fantia Kwanof, the Huri NDC dia two baby, na sitina bedi the new patriotic party in sem. Then to Suhum, then also Huri NDC dia two baby, na sitina bedi the new patriotic party in sem. NDC in Saoma Duajiri. As at the time I NDC for any confusion by you know. Now the honorable Anodompre only with over 1,000 votes. And almost Montiasi. Yen Tiasi, the Uyan as a lawyer Duzita Makulu, Ekraka Tebi, Yanko Heka Telmua, a application for injunction. Say young primary count to non Kosubio. Now, the CIA say the NPP press conference. Then someone would get to join and young Adofono. But the parliamentary elections. Menya sure say parliament be BCC. The NPP are produce pink sheet. Yeah, some of the constituencies say. Otie declaration na is of office officials ne ya na edit to esi won so. Now we heard the pink sheets available. Majority of the constituencies almost so appoint. Ya bobo NPP about the NDC. Ni bobo NDC about the NPP and you declare the NDC candidate as winners. Yeah, according to Yewura Peter McMahon, yeah now we hear this press conference. Almost all the evidence have been sent to various international organizations. Yeah, no more station in Ghana during this year's election. Yeah, to say some of the international organizations are just shocked. They say, "Hey, it is send your mail course so during the parliamentary elections declarations." Yeah, to say new man elbow ban in subsequent days. You have no idea. Yanko na yanko te Yewura Peter McMahon bra wonya bri chiremu no obo constituency way in the pink sheet in on the face of the pink sheet, new man was ni enya semketo na interestingly, kofua ekase NPP kokot NPP kokot no. Omo ni mra no because almost all the pink sheet Yewura Peter McMahon who so kan sem no. It has not been gazetted by the ECO. Say and then the final results. They are just declarations by EC officials, but EC nyang gazette all those things. Ore yanko ni yanko ti Yewura Peter McMahon
believing that they won the election. Further to this, the NDC tried every possible means to destroy pink sheets, which are the primary records of the elections. It will be recalled that on Sunday, 8 December 2024, NDC tax stormed Ablekumanov Constituency Collation Center, overpowered the police, and ran amok, attempting to destroy every electoral material on site. In view of the vandalism that occurred at the collation center by the NDC hoodlums, the EC was unable to continue with the collation exercise at the constituency collation center. Consequently, the EC invited the parties to the EC Regional Collation Center at Rich on Monday, 9th December 2024 to complete the collation. A total of 214 polling station results were collated after verification and authentication by all the parties, leaving 67 pink sheets which were to be collated on Tuesday, 10th December 2024. However, when the parties got to the regional collation center on Tuesday, the NDC representatives, in shocking turn of events, said they wouldn't allow the EC to collate the remaining 67 polling station results, insisting that they could not find their pink sheets. They then ordered the constituency returning officer, Mr. Vincent Obing, to declare their candidate as winner of the parliamentary election. How? The returning officer told them that he had not finished with the collation, so he had no means of ascertaining who won the election and by what margin. By what margin has she won? The returning officer pleaded with them to cooperate with him to collect the remaining 67 pink sheets before making any declaration as required by Regulation 43 of CI 127, a position that was strongly supported by the NPP's parliamentary candidate and her agents. The NDC would, however, have none of that, as they insisted that their candidate, Eraba Obin, had won and should be declared as such. This resulted in a misunderstanding, whereupon the NDC reps invited their party thugs who had massed up at the EC Regional Collation Center to force their way into the collation center, having overpowered the security and destroyed facilities belonging to the commission, the Electoral Commission, I mean. As widely captured in videos that are in circulation, the NDC thugs threatened to beat the returning officer and kill him if he failed to declare their candidate as the winner. Fearing for his life, Mr. Vincent Obing, the returning officer, gave in to their demands, except that because he had not finished with the collation, he could not and did not mention any figure or percentages obtained by the candidate. Can we see the video?
You have the video.
There's a glitch here. Okay, let me continue. We'll show you the videos. The returning officer, in response to this is the time. Okay, this is the video.
The returning officer, Sam George.
The returning officer being attacked and whisked to declare. Is there any voice? The returning officer, in response to what the NDC hoodlums had ordered him to do amid the threat of his life, only said, "I declare you as a winner," without even mentioning the name of the candidate nor the number of votes obtained by any of the candidates as required by law. Equally, the parliamentary results collation sheet form 1C and parliamentary results summary sheet form 1D could not be filled as required by Regulation 43 1B of CI 127. Additionally, the returning officer could not issue out the rate form 1B as required by Regulation 43 1G. I pose this question, that if your hand is raised that you have won an election and you go to the house, what are you going to show to your wife or your husband that you have won an election? There must be a documentary proof. So if your hand is only raised that you have won an election and you go home, what are you going to tell your wife or your husband? Or what are you going to show him or her that you have won an election? The processes are documented in Regulation 43 of the CI. So if it's incomplete, it's incomplete. So that's for Madam Friye and Ablekuma North. 2, we move on to TMA Central constituency. Data on the face of the pinches from all the 148 polling stations in TMA Central shows clearly that the NPP parliamentary candidates, Charles Forson, won the parliamentary elections for the constituency with 55 votes difference. He obtained 18,870 votes to beat the NDC's candidate, Ebi Bright, who polled 18,815. When the NDC realized that they had lost, they sent their party thugs to disrupt the collation exercise. These thugs overpowered the security and ran amok at the collation center, injuring innocent people in the process. This compelled the TMA Metro EC Director, Mr. Ofosuhene A. Manasseh, to call for a suspension of the collation in view of the prevailing chaos and other security concerns. Collation resumed on Monday, 9th December, at the TMA Regional Police Command, which was again disrupted by the NDC thugs who stormed the collation center in their hundreds and overpowered the police. The thugs took charge of the collation process and ordered the EC to declare their parliamentary candidate, Ebi Bright, as the winner of the elections when it was left with 2 pink sheets to complete the collation process. The NDC knew very well that when the results of the 2 remaining polling stations are added to what had been collated for the candidates, the NPP parliamentary candidate, Charles Forson, will beat their candidate by 55 votes. The polling station codes of the 2 outstanding stations and votes obtained by the 2 candidates are code C231309B, NPP 170 votes, NDC 103 votes. The second polling station outstanding is C231707, and here NPP got 279 votes and NDC 173. When the returning officer for the constituency resisted their attempt to compel him to declare the NDC candidate as the winner of the elections, the NDC brought in a staff of the Electoral Commission from a different constituency, TMA West, to do the declaration for the TMA Central constituency without the inclusion of the 2 remaining pink sheets. Here too, the Form 1B, 1C, and 1D were all not filled by the officer as required by the law. They used an A4 sheet to fill the statutory form. Show the video. You have the video of the A4 sheet? All right. So that is what happened at TMA Central. We now move on to KQu Central constituency. The NPP candidate and incumbent MP for KQu Central constituency, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, won the parliamentary elections with a vote margin of 1,446 votes difference. The NPP candidate, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, obtained 20,229 votes as against NDC's Baba Sadiq, who polled 18,783 votes with only 3 polling stations remaining. The records show that even when all the votes in the 3 polling stations are added to the NDC's candidate, it will not offset the vote difference. This is important. Even when all the 3 outstanding polling stations are added on to the NDC candidate, it would not offset the vote difference. At this moment, the collation process was disrupted by the NDC thugs, who stormed the collation center and sought to destroy critical electoral materials, including pink sheets essential for verifying the results. They took control of the collation process and threatened the EC's officials to declare their candidate as winner, resulting in chaotic scenes which led to suspension of the constituency collation. The parties were invited to the EC Regional Collation Center on Monday, 9 December 2024 to complete the collation process. The NDC insisted that they would not accept the continuation of the collation and demanded that the EC should declare their candidate as winner of the parliamentary election. Under visible duress, the returning officer excluded the results from 31 polling stations and declared the results based on only 110 polling stations. This action is inconsistent with the electoral laws as it excludes legitimate votes cast by constituents and fails to reflect the true outcome of the elections in KQu Central. The NDC's disagreement was based on alleged issue with certain polling stations. The attack stormed the electoral EC collation center and coerced the returning officer to declare. And here too we have video footages to corroborate these incidents of vandalism and physical abuse of the electoral staff. I don't think you can show the footage.
This one is applicable. We will share with them. We share the video. Let's go to Domi Kwabenya.
All right, so let's go to the fourth one, Domi Kwabenya constituency. We will share these videos with you. During the collation at Domi Kwabenya constituency collation center, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center, destroyed electoral materials on site, bent ballot boxes, thereby truncating the collation process. The returning officer informed parties to leave the collation center on account of the security challenges, which made it impossible to continue with the collation. The returning officer assured the candidates and their agents that she would communicate a new venue for the continuation of the collation. We are however hearing that there was a purported declaration of results under duress, and that too in our absence, contrary to requirements of regulation 43 of CI 127. Equally, the parliamentary results collation sheet form 1C and parliamentary results summary sheet form 1D was not filled as required by regulation 43 1B 1 and B of CI 127, and the rate of declaration form 1B was also not issued as required by regulation 43 1 and G. The NPP candidate or his agent has still not been informed of the new venue for the continuation of the collation, contrary to the assurances given by the returning officer during the raid by the NDC tax. Well, we can report that based on our own collation, the NPP parliamentary candidate, Ambassador Michael Kwe Jr., won the parliamentary elections in Domi Kwabenya and are confident that when EC resumes collation, our position will be vindicated. 5. Ahafo North constituency in Ashanti region. The NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, won the parliamentary elections with a margin of 121 votes as per data collated from all the 140 polling stations by the party. The NPP's candidate, Nana Ajimai Prempeh, has hard copies of all the 140 pink sheets that put him at 20,353 votes as against NDC's candidate at 20,232. I believe we all have witnessed what we call MP3 in Tema East some time back. So if somebody wins with a difference of 121, he has won. After all, the law says first past the post. During the collation by the EC at the constituency collation center, NDC tax stormed the collation center at Tepa SHS and began destroying and burning electoral materials, particularly pink sheets, computers, and ballot papers, as well as properties of the Tepa SHS, including louver blades, benches, and tables. They also manhandled NPP representatives and EC officials. These violent conducts by the NDC tax, who had overpowered the police, prompted the intervention of the military to save lives and property. The NDC hoodlums did not only attack the collation center, but they also proceeded to launch an attack at the residence of the NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, bent his vehicle and attacked his warehouse, stole his items, and attacked his radio station. There are video footages in wide circulations that captured all these attacks. These issues have since been reported to the Ghana police, and an arrest warrant has been issued. The videos are there, and we will give you copies of it. The question many will ask is, since when has it become an offense to contest a parliamentary elections in this country? Why is the NDC bent on thwarting all our democratic gains? Ghana has made a lot of gains. Instead of consolidating it, they are thwarting it. They are throwing it away. Let's go to the sixth one, Obuasi East. That's also in Ashanti. After collating the polling stations results from all the 115 polling stations, the NPP parliamentary candidate obtained 18,558 votes as against NDC's 18,539. Strangely, the returning officer, the police, and the NPP candidate, at the threat of their lives, succumbed to the unlawful demands of the NDC hoodlums, who had besieged the collation center and took charge of the constituency collation process to swap the election results. And we have that. Is that ready to show them? They swapped the results that I have mentioned and then announced that. Okay, they gave them APP's candidates to that of the NDC. The Obuasi East.
They just cancelled.
They cancelled the first one, which we have the data and reverse and I mean, what is this? They swapped the results in favor of the NDC
and then locked the candidate and asked him to sign or he dies. Or he prefers dying or going to parliament. So he should sign.
Number 7, Ampofo Southwest, also in Ashanti. Results from all the 103 polling stations indicate that the NPP's candidate, Elvis Osei-Mensah-Dankwa, obtained 16,058 votes, as against NDC's candidate, who polled 15,372 votes. As usual, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center and in the process killed one of our supporters. We have all our pink sheets intact, and that shows clearly that the NPP parliamentary candidate won the parliamentary elections by 686 votes margin. 686 votes margin. The EC invited the parties to its regional collation center on Monday, 9 December 2024 at 10 a.m. The EC collated all the results from all the 103 polling stations, filled the Form 1C as well as the Form 1D, but due to threat on his life,